Good morning. How is everyone doing on this early Sunday morning? Thank you for tuning in. I know it has been a while working on my second cup of coffee Sunday morning here. I think I might have said that already. Just got off a 36-hour shift last night and it was a doozy. It was a doozy. Had a good partner. Worked with one of my friends I hadn't worked with in a while. Ended up being didn't train her, but I would say, but she was my. They put her with me once they cleared her, but still had a lot of, get confidence in learning. It's always kind of, it's good. It's good to see people grow, young people. EMS is a field that you work at, and I always say either you have it or you don't when it comes in the EMS. And it was very good to see this young person with her skills and ability to help in the back on a hot call, drive a good ambulance, good worker. It's just nice to see that, and I tell you, and I do. And I tell you, it's one of those evenings we had, and the last couple of shifts, I'm not complaining. They just been nice, crawling the bed, even at a busy station. The last couple of shifts, man, I've been sleeping all night. We're on calls during the day, you keep busy. By the time you get in 10, 11 o'clock, whatever, you lay down and you sleep to the next morning. And that sometimes when you work headquarters, that does not happen like that. Well, it was my turn. And so basically, in a nutshell, we had a male in his 30s. We got called out for a gunshot wound to the groin. And I'm like, oh, great. Because if any of y'all have worked calls like that before, familiar with tourniquets, you can't put a tourniquet on a groin. But anyway, we'll back up with that later. But ended up going and getting there. He has bled out a lot. And I mean, there was a lot of blood. And so I already had the helicopter on standby. And once I saw that, launched them, requested for them to bring blood. The bad thing is the helicopter system we usually use, they might have been on a call, so they go for the next one. And the next one was coming from Camden. That's LifeNet 2. Usually we use LifeNet 7 out of Lawrence. But LifeNet 2 was coming. And they had like a 35-minute ETA to be put on the ground. So regardless from that, I knew I had a little time to get some things done. So picked the patient up. He was conscious, but he was waning. He was waning real good. So got him on the stretcher, did a quick assessment, and yet again, when I think I get good trauma shares, they suck. The ones the companies give away and such, and I'm so cheap. I used to have a nice real nice pair, like $75 ones, trauma shares called Raptors, and I lost those things on the side of I-26 on a call, and I just hadn't had I'll be honest with you, being in school, hadn't had the money to buy a new pair, but they are phenomenal. So I tried my best to get a quick assessment here, and it was just covered in blood down the groin area, penis covered, everything covered. Couldn't get a good assessment. So basically, got him in the back of the truck, did a quick look, saw a wound, probably just left the groin area, hole oozing out. So let me back up. So when we got on scene, saw that, we did direct pressure with a trauma pad that we carry, and we brought in a little small trauma bag. And so get him in the back. And so I knew how helicopter was launched. We had, I don't know, maybe a 30-minute ETA then. And so we were going out to a landing zone off the highway. So we had a little bit of a drive because we want to meet him in the middle. So, but I knew for this patient to really survive or have a fighting chance would be to get blood on board. Got to have it. So we get him in the back, pressure's being applied. He's conscious. He's asking, basic questions. I was able to talk with him and such. So, started doing my assessment. Blood pressures was not looking good. His initial blood pressure for him was, I think, was 60s. No, actually, his first one was 64 over 39. 64 over 39. And I was like, this is not good. Had a map of 47. And for all y'all, you can be listening to my friends in nursing school, maps vary from its mean arterial pressure. So we're always looking at a 60, 65. When you got a good map pressure, then at least you can have a low blood pressure. But if your map's good, then you're looking at, at least your organs are being perfused. He had a map of 47. So I was like, not good, not good. So got an IV started, got fluid started. I stayed on scene for an extra couple of minutes. Hate these IVs we have that our system and I work at. They changed them out. Cannot stand them. I hate them with a passion, especially when you're bumping or lumping down the back of a road of an ambulance. So sometimes you gotta stay in play for about a minute or two, just so you can give a good patient care. He needed fluids. I knew he would be needing blood, so I ended up staying for about a minute or two. Got the IV started, got the bags of fluid going. Took the rest of the pants off because I knew I had a little time on my hands for the helicopter to come. So from there, we started going down the road. And good driver and smooth ride. Get on scene. Well, a couple things happened while going en route. So I can't remember what our travel time was. It might have been 15 minutes, maybe a little less. Can't remember. So while en route, ended up getting TXA, and that's a medication we've been carrying for the last couple of years. A lot of it it's been around for a while, but it really came in helpful during the like Afghanistan war, things of that nature for the military. Used a lot in the trauma hospitals, trauma tents, when they're in. I know I'm just rambling. Basically, what it is, it binds like a protein. I don't know all the ins and outs, but it helps stops the internal bleeding. And I'm sorry for not being. I'm just kind of rambling this morning, but gave him that TXA on board. Gave him some pain meds. Gave him some fentanyl. Didn't want to give too much because he was hurting. He really started when his adrenaline was starting to kind of come down. He was hurting, squirming, moving on the stretcher, still trying to keep applied pressure, and so, all that said, once we got on scene and had about maybe 7 or 8 minutes, I don't know, for the helicopter to land, but I knew they were coming. So, to get them on the ground, they get in the back. Lord and behold, I had a friend, acquaintance friend. Everybody in EMS, people kind of come and go, and you know them. And had a fellow there, ran across to him. We used to work at Lexington back in like 2012, 2013, and he's... I knew he got in the critical care, but ran across him. Good to see him. So they got in the back. Extremely professional. Great crew. Shout out to LifeNet 2. Did a great job. So get him in the back. Get a quick assessment. They're doing their thing. And so she's lining up. Starting to, get ready to give blood. They do an assessment. Well, back to the hole. When you have bleeding like that, we have tourniquets. You got them on the arm, the leg. You can, cinch it down, help stop the bleeding. Well, when you get into a spot, let's say the crease of the neck, the crease of a groin area that needs a tourniquet, well, what you have is called a junctional tourniquet. We don't carry them on our trucks, but I'm a little embarrassed. The more I think about it now, the more I might have probably could have did a makeshift one. But basically, what they did, they grabbed a pelvic binder, and pelvic binder is if someone like breaks their hips or break their pelvic, it's a binder that you put around the hips like a wide weightlifting belt, and you cinch it down, and basically it secures the hip. Well, they took that, and I had a big roll of Curlex that I used a little bit of in the morning and didn't want to throw it away. I kept it just in case I might want to use it again. And so they grabbed that and put that Curlex over that hole, which we saw the bleeding stopped, a little small ooze coming out of it. So they put that Curlex on top, got that binder, cinched it down real tight to keep applied pressure while they were going to be taken to the trauma hospital. And just a great job. Sometimes you got to think outside the box. And but we don't carry them. I probably could have maybe gotten a 9-foot strap. I could have maybe, you think back on it, and there's nothing wrong thinking, well, I could have done this, could have done that. You learn on calls. You learn with experience. So I'm not beating myself up. So pressure started coming up. I gave him about 500 of saline, and basically in a nutshell here, when we get placed in the helicopter, we had a pressure of 92/59, and we had a map of 70. I was good with that, but this man probably was going to end up needing some surgery. I don't know. Hopefully I reached out to the flight crew, gave him my number. Hopefully I want to hear something back from them. And with that being said, so good call there. Good call there. Long shift. Came home last night exhausted. So where am I going with all this? Is this. Sometimes it's hard to take a break. With me, it is. Sometimes it's hard to unwind. When I get going, and it's hard for me to sleep, I'd be honest with you, I slept like crap last night. I hurt. My hip hurts. My shoulder's killing me. Shitty beds at the EMS service that I work at is what it is. You can find a good bed at EMS. It's hard to find one, but they try, but they're not good. At least for me. I like a soft bed. These are hard. So looking around last night, thinking, what am I going to be doing today? There's always schoolwork to be done. Always schoolwork to be done. Always going to be doing a little bit of that. I'm going to stay another night here. I'm going to get up and go right for school in the morning. So I'm looking around. Garage is a wreck. My bench is a wreck. My boat needs work. No, not work. Needs to be cleaned. I need to put the cover on it. I hate it being rained on without a cover. Spend a lot of money getting reupholstered. I like to take care of what I have. Little yard work, little of this, little of that. So what do you do? Sometimes you need to sit back in life, or when you're busy like us. If I got my cohorts listening, each person's different. With me, it's hard for me to unwind and to get back into the swing of things. Some people can cut things off and all right, I'm back to my regular life. But sometimes I feel I'm so used to school that I don't want to be doing things around the house. Well, it's catching up with me now. And it's not big things, it's little things. Things pile up, things get up, you got to organize, go through some mail, do this, do that, put things away in the garage, clean up. So, and get ready for the next week. So, with that being said, sometimes you just got to just take a step back, work on little projects, get yourself straightened up. Always schoolwork, but still, we always have to prepare ourselves for ahead there. And if you let the small things get away when you really need to, they're going to catch up with you. And, backtracking, when our shift started before this call, my biggest bitch and gripe at work has always been people are not checking off trucks. They're not taking, they'll look over the main stuff, but not really do a good check off. And I'm guilty of it. So I vowed from here out, any truck I get on, I'm grabbing the check off sheet and going line by line. My partner and I, we did that. Didn't find a whole lot off there, but I tell you one thing, it gave us hands on to all equipment, where to find things. I don't open the trauma bag all that often, and when I do, sometimes I'm fumbling of, where's this pad? Where's this gauze? Where's the IV tape? Where's my trauma tape when I need it? And I'm going through all these little pockets. Going through your stuff at the beginning of a shift helps you to know where things are at when times are critically needed with that. So, I know I'm backtracking here, so it was really good, knowing things where things are at on doing your assessments. So, sometimes we got to sit back and go through the small things at the house. If not, they do pile up. So, with that being said, I know I'm rambling. I know it's been a while. So, with that being said, I'm going to post this. It's been about 15 minutes, not much. Hope you enjoyed that call to share there. I have another one maybe to share later down the road. I had earlier that morning just thinking that was a good medical call. Good critical thinking. Maybe I'll break that one out here later on. So, with all that being said, y'all have a good day. Take care of the small stuff around the house before it piles up. And I will be seeing my student friends tomorrow morning. Y'all have a great and beautiful Sunday.